Welcome back to Pressed Conference. This is Amanda, and I am so excited for today's episode with the iconic drag tea served with Matt. Bombae and I have so been looking forward to this episode. Unfortunately, RuPaul couldn't be here, but trust me, this is still such a fun time. As always, we want you to also be our special guests, so comment your reactions as you're watching in the comment section below. I'm so excited to read and respond to them. A special shout out to our National Press member here on YouTube, Starlight. If you want to join our community, get some cute badges and stickers, be sure to check the description below. And as always, be sure to stream our theme song, Pressed Conference by Amanda, anywhere you listen to music. Let's get started. How are you, Bombae?
I'm good. Well, thank you for having me. It's been another week of drag, and I feel like at this point in the season, my attention span is starting to get dragged. I'm just like, let's go, finale, do it.
We are so close to the finish line after what, like
RuPaul
15, 16 episodes. Yes. Oh my god.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's 8 a.m. bright and early. I want to introduce our amazing special guest. I'm so excited that we finally have him here. We've been able to align our time zones a little bit better. The iconic, I'm constantly being like, hey, I have information for you. Truly, amazing. Drag tea served with Matt. Woo! We're proving you're not a robot.
You know them. You've heard their voice on the YouTube shorts before, but now you can see the face behind the voice as well. Do people think you're a robot?
It's real, baby.
Matt, do people think you're a robot? What is that?
People think I'm a robot. People think I'm AI. Or I'm some kind of like computer generator. I don't know, something. Who knows?
You're just built different, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm just British. I think that's what it is.
That's what... Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's British. Matt, are you enjoying
it? I'm very excited to be on. I know if anyone's seen my videos, maybe they have, but Amanda's been very kind this season and has sort of like fed me some tea. Not in the literal sense, obviously in tea and drag race sense of some of the things you heard from your viewing parties at Play in Nashville and some of the queens and things. So I've talked about that on my video. Some of the stuff that Bombae said on this podcast, I featured on my channel as well. Like some of the stuff we posted.
It's like an intelligence network.
And then there's Miru.
And then, well, I think every even the FBI has like a front, like a laundromat or something. Niru is the laundromat. People look at Niru and be like, oh, they don't know shit. Because look at Niru. Yeah.
I think you're giving Niru too much credit, to be honest.
Are you enjoying the season, Matt? What are your thoughts?
I am, yeah. It's very. I think it's very different from some of the other seasons, like US seasons, particularly. You can't really compare it to the international ones. I don't think, 'cause it's not probably quite a fair comparison. But I think it's a very young season, and as someone who is the same age as Lexi, who's the oldest person, I feel personally vindicated. Sorry, not vindicated, victimized, not vindicated, victimized. So it's very young, but the queens seem fun, and it's been. I think there's been enough drama to keep it interesting, but enough heart for it to feel authentic.
Cool.
Totally.
Have you had any winners? Like, what is like before the competition started? How have your favorites fared? Have any of your favorites left?
So I thought Lexi was going to win in the first few weeks because she was so like everyone. She was sort of fan favorite. Then I think after a few episodes, like she obviously didn't have as many wins, and then there was the spray paint gate and stuff, and then she was. I think that's when she started to kind of go down a little bit in people's not people's opinions, but just in terms of the competition, she was not maybe as strong. And then after that, I think Anya, for a while, she was almost like a villain because she was involved in a couple of different dramas. But I think all of a sudden he sort of started to come up. So I was like, oh, it's going to be Anya.
Cool.
So that's how Suzie was in contention for a while, but then I was like, no, it's Anya.
Hey, let's go. We're Team Anya in this house. We're Team Anya. We're Team Lexi. I think those are the two.
I think
like,
that's
that's it. Yeah.
it.
Well, if the fan votes are anything to go by, then it's Jules and Anya now.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
on
those are
the
bots.
have you
Those
seen?
are
Yeah, well,
bots.
it could be bots.
If penetration could have been voted to be on that season, mama.
That's true. Jules has got more. For a while, she had more votes than Anya did on the Instagram, like the post thing. But now I think Anya's ahead. But
This week is the lip sync Lalaparuza. Now I want to ask the both of you, like, how I know this season hasn't had the best lip sync. So what was your mindset going into?
I was thinking that means we're not getting a reunion. I think that was probably my
Oh,
yeah.
you're not.
unless they do it at the finale, because they kind of used to do that. They had like a mini reunion, but it was never that good. But so my first thought was we're not getting a reunion, which I'm kind of split on. I think the reunions can be really good, but I think with a cast like this, I don't think actually it would be that dramatic. I think it would be quite boring. So I can see why they're skipping it. So I was excited. I did think there was going to be a live audience like they did last season, and that would have been much more interesting. So I was maybe a tiny bit disappointed that it was just like a regular episode, and but I mean it was still fun. We all love a good lip sync. There was a couple of good ones in this particular episode, I think.
Did that surprise you?
The what?
That there were a couple of good ones.
I think there's been a few good ones throughout the season. I know clearly Amanda hates the entire cast and all of the lip sync. Yeah, it's not. I guess there's not been any like iconic, crazy moments like some other seasons that like Maya Iman LePage last season. Like every lip sync she was in, she killed it and did like the most amazing choreo and all this. There hasn't necessarily been any. I think one of the only ones that I really truly remember for good reasons, not because someone's wig fell off, was the Dochi one at the beginning of the season with Crystal and Lexi was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But other than that, I feel like a lot of the other ones were just kind of, they were fine, but not hugely memorable, unless I'm forgetting some. But if I forgot them, then maybe they weren't that memorable, I guess.
Yeah. When last week we were like, are we meeting on Sunday to recap this episode? And Mira was like, it's the Lollapalooza. I was like, oh my God. And that's not because of the queens. It's not because it could be any cast. I'm just not a fan of the Lollapalooza. And you can argue that, yes, this is what drag queens do. This is our bread and butter. We love the lip sync. So give us a tournament. I just wanted a reunion. I wanted an extra challenge. I want us to go, I want them to do something new. That's what I wanted. But watching the episode, I was really surprised. I also loved that this was shot 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So everyone has everyone's face looks different. People's makeup has improved. Some people have new faces completely. The references are new. Like Anya's wearing this Dochi outfit that she wore when she performed. So everyone's and we're referencing things that are happening in real time, like Corey King's cameo. So it feels fresher, because everyone's in on the same references now and they're all caught up. So that was nice. I think that's what made it an episode for me, because we could actually see how the queens have changed in the past 6 or 7 months since the show wrapped. So yeah, I liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked this episode. Amanda.
Yeah, I know. I was also pleasantly surprised. I went in a little bit worried. I was like, I don't know how it's going to fare. I don't know how strong the queens are for this season for lip syncing, so a whole episode dedicated to that would be a little scary. But I really loved it, and I really, like Bombae said, I love that it was in real time. It made the show feel. It felt like it was a tinge of reunion, and with a new twist. I love that Kori Toot made a cameo. I was like, thank God, thank God. This is what filming in real time is made of,
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed it, and I really liked getting to see a new side of Suzie, but we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so the queens make it to the main stage, and we have our usual Lollapalooza rules, except with a twist.
This time, when a queen's name gets pulled, they have the option of choosing the song or who they're going up against. What would you, both of you, do in that situation? Would you pick the song or the opponent?
I would pick the opponent.
Really?
Yeah.
I pick the song, I think.
Yeah.
I pick the opponent only because, like, at this point, they're all friends. Well, that we know of, and like you can have more fun with somebody on stage. Yeah.
So you're saying you don't think you have a chance of winning?
What?
I mean, like,
What?
you're there to have fun.
Honestly,
you're not there to win.
No, but if you have friends, you can actually plan moments that make the lip sync really amazing.
That's true. That's
true. Like if you have a friend going in and you're like, okay, let's do this. If whatever it is, one of us, like, someone has to go home. There's only one winner. If we make it to the end, sure, but we can still have a really good moment on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would pick person.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would pick the song maybe because I guess depending on I'm not obviously a drag queen. Shocker to everyone. I also have 2 left feet, so I couldn't lip sync to save my life. But
that didn't stop me, Matt. That did not stop me.
You were good. I liked you on your season. I personally, I'm also a liar as well. No, I'm joking.
Oh my god! Suddenly, I'm missing Nirupam.
No. Bombae, hashtag Bombae was robbed. It is true. I actually really liked you on your season. But moving on for this episode, I would pick the song just because I think there are certain songs in this list that would be more within my like wheelhouse, if you can call it that. Whereas other songs, I would not. I didn't know some of the songs. Like I would literally. I guess they learn them, but I would not have known them at all. Whereas some of these, I already know the lyrics, so I would want to pick the song. But I do agree that it makes it less dramatic that they get to pick the song because it's kind of a bit more of a cop-out because you want to know who do you think is your weakest competition, because that's when you pick your opponent and that's when you get the queens going, she did not just say my name. That's what we want. So yeah, it was fresh, but it wasn't dramatic.
Yeah. I would pick the song because I'm a competitive gal and I also don't do drag, so I know that if I did, I would need to pick something in my wheelhouse. I don't think I'd be very versatile. Every queen for herself. So the first pick is Hormona. Hormona chooses to pick the song that she's going to compete with, which is Liza with a Z against Lydia B. Collins. What do we think of this lip sync?
I wanted to waterboard myself after watching this lip sync.
Oh, okay.
I think this was an easy win for Lydia. Like, it was just, like, I think Lexi said it best. Like, when Hormona does a reveal, it looks like she's just coming home and taking her bra off. Like, it felt like, oh my god, here's my outfit, take it. There wasn't. I wish there was more intention. Yeah, this was just the worst way to start the night, because like it was a complete, like, she got eaten up, and I think she could have done better. It wasn't like Lydia was exceptionally good. I guess Lydia was also like, this is the first lip sync, it's against Hormona. I'm not gonna like amp it up because just let her do her own thing and I'll win. But yeah, I agree with the judge's decision. It's a 8 for me.
Yeah, I would have to say it was what is it? Lydia 8? Is that what we're saying?
Sure.
Yeah, whatever it is. I think Lydia clearly won this. I just think Hormona did the reveals way too soon. As someone who is obviously clearly a lip sync expert, and I'm clearly well versed in judging these people from their lip sync abilities. I just think they did it. She did it way too soon, and they did look like she was just coming home and undressing.
She looked great though. Yeah,
banging bod. She looked great.
You know what? I wish she really dressed up as Sadness.
Oh my god!
And did these lip syncs as a sad, as Sadness would, because then you actually you don't have to pop off. Like, Sadness is not doing a death drop unless she's dying. you know?
That would have added something to it.
I love it. You know what? I'm gonna like give an 8 in the sense like, yeah, I agree with the judge's decision that Lydia won. I think it's interesting for strategy wise as a drag queen to do this lip sync Lalaparuza because you only get one outfit, so it's about over
Yeah.
time revealing little by little to get to the end, so you have something each time. But it's interesting to see their queens like Hormona Lisa or queens like Acacia Forgot where they do it all in one go. They
Yeah.
throw all their cards on the
You
table.
gotta be like those Russian dolls. Like every lip sync is just beep, beep,
Mm-hmm.
beep.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So yeah.
like Kori King also did that, like until the end. But then it was like, oh, but we'll get to Kori when we get to Kori.
Yeah. So I liked how Lydia just took her head off and
She
became
didn't
a
need
little
to do that. I don't think she needed to do that in this lip sync. She would have won even without it.
True. But I did enjoy this, and I liked how at the beginning there was sort of a monologue before the song began. It reminded me of All Winners, and I know how much we loved that All Winners monologue. So it was cool to have just a tiny little sliver of that before the song started. We have Suzie Toot. Her name was bold, and she chooses her opponent, and she chooses Joella, and they lip sync to Training Season by Dua Lipa. Let's hear your thoughts.
Matt, you go first.
I appreciated that Suzie picked an opponent rather than a song because I think it made better television personally, and I think Suzie knew that. Also, I guess maybe she thought Joella would be an easy win, maybe because Joella obviously was an early out. We don't necessarily know if she's from the show, at least. We don't know how good of a lip syncer she is because her lip sync was not that great when she did it in her big whatever it was. So yeah, I think Suzie. I was surprised because I wasn't sure this was going to be in her wheelhouse because it's obviously more of a pop, sultry almost type of song. But I think she ate. Suzie ate. It was she had eye contact with the judges. She really encapsulated the song, and I think she really commanded attention. Whereas Joella was maybe just she was good, but I don't think she kind of had that commanding presence that Suzie had. So I do agree with the outcome.
Yeah, I think Suzie ate. The judges ate in their judgment. I think Suzie was like, I'm gonna pick the weakest link, knock him off, move myself forward, easy peasy, won't have to break a sweat. I like the performance. It was really good. Like she has this like she's so like she has the timing right. Like she knows exactly when to do what, and she knows her body so well. It just works. Joella was entertaining to watch. I'll say, yeah, she was like if you go to a bar to see a drag queen, you see Joella, like you'll see someone like Joella performing, and that's like, I'm here. I would tip her because she was entertaining to watch. It wasn't like she was really bad. It's just that Suzie was exceptional in this lip sync. And she waited with the tassels and the hair, and it all kind of worked very well for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really Suzie looked so good this episode. I just have to say, she was so mesmerizing to watch in just the face. Like her facial expressions were so good, I think. Like I really, and from head to toe, it was amazing. She did that wig reveal. She's giving Raggedy Ann realness. Like I really enjoyed. And Joella, I don't forget the Ella, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I give
I
this
like
an
how
8.
in this picture you can see a tiny Lydia butthole collar just at the back.
Hey.
I also think something that I thought when I was watching these lip syncs, I think one thing is if you've ever been to a drag show, which obviously I have, I think Joella, as Bombae was saying, Joella is the type of queen. I think in a club, because obviously you don't see the same thing as when we're watching on TV, you're seeing a camera zooming in on the queens. And if that was in a club and you were sat at the back and you couldn't see much, you would be tipping Joella because she was moving and bucking and doing the rest of it.
Yeah.
Whereas Suzie was a lot more nuanced. So if you weren't close, it would have looked like she wasn't doing much. But because the camera is zooming in on her, we as the audience are getting a much different perspective. So I think in this show setting, what Suzie did worked really well. But in a club, I actually think Joella may have taken it because she was probably more what you'd expect at a live show. Whereas, yeah, just looking at the camera and giving eye contact is not as impactful when you're on a stage and you're not, because you can see everything and not just a zoomed in picture.
Right.
Wow. And that's nuance, everybody.
Next, we have Lucky Stars versus Acacia Forgot. Lucky Stars picks the song, and she picks Step by Step by Whitney Houston.
This was so good. I just, Lucky was amazing. Lucky, at least for this number, didn't even have to do the things with her basketball boobs. I think she'd have still won without it. Acacia, like, she had a really good concept. Like, the wig was different and the jacket, but she did this at the back of the stage. Like, she does her reveals, the wig reveal facing the back of the stage. Like, who is watching that? Like, you know, just it would have been, it would have had such a larger impact if you just did it in front of the stage. And then she threw her jacket off as well. And it's like, Diva, where is the camera? Where is RuPaul? Not there. Turn around. So as soon as she did that, I'm like, oh my god. Didn't she do the really slow dip? In slow
Yeah,
motion?
that was her. That was her.
Oh, that was gold. That was my favorite part of this lip sync. Just the slow motion, and then just like doing the signs of the cross or whatever, and then just smashing her head into the. Oh, but Lucky was funny. Lucky was slapstick, and then the boobs came out and just sealed the deal. Like there was no going. Like there was no way she was gonna lose after that. So it was an 8 for me.
Yeah, I would agree. Lucky killed this. It was. I thought Acacia did a decent job, given that we weren't sure not necessarily what to expect 100%. Because I think Acacia actually is a decent lip syncer. She did decently well on the ones that she did before, and we didn't really know what to expect from Lucky because unfortunately we only saw one thing from her really, and it didn't necessarily go her way. So I was really pleasantly surprised. I loved the basketballs. She actually wore this outfit when she was at Roscoe's. So I was a bit like, oh, and then that's what made me think about when they must have filmed this, because it must have not been that long after that. But the basketball, she didn't do obviously the reveal of like the basketball boobs, but that was really fun. I enjoyed that. And I think not only that, I think as Bombae said, I don't even know if she would have even needed that. I can see why she did it, because if she didn't, it would be weird because it's such an obvious thing. But she's actually really good dancer, and she clearly has some, I assume, some sort of training in ballroom or something like that, because some of her moves were really good. She was a really good dancer. And I'm pretty sure, isn't she the former drag daughter of Nina Bonina Brown, who also is a very good lip syncer?
Yes, a strange drag daughter.
You can see the resemblance, because Nina was also
yes.
a great
Oh my god, that is true. You do see the resemblance now with the headpieces and the shape. Yeah,
like when she did if you remember Nina's lip sync against Arjo, I think it was Finally by CC.
Yes. Oh,
she had the big boobs as well, not basketball, but big boobs. That was
funny.
An iconic lip sync.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I really loved that we got to see Acacia really evolve from the last time we saw her. I really loved the wig reveal into the outfit. Lucky Stars really blew me away, especially with the basketballs at the end. And I'm really glad that we got to see her advance this round. So I agree with the judges. I think it's an 8. I think they made the right decision. Arrietty's ball is chosen, and she decides to choose to go up against Kori King, and they sing Blow Me One Last Kiss by Pink.
Love Pink.
Love Pink.
Matt, what do you think?
So this, I think, was one of the only lip syncs that I disagree with the judge's decision, personally. I regurgitate, apparently, is what we're supposed to be saying. I think you could make a case for either side. I think from a storyline point of view, I can see why Kori went through, because they wanted Kori against Lydia. They wanted Kori with the whole cameo thing. She's obviously more of a popular queen in the fandom than Arrietty is, because Arrietty obviously had, maybe not so great a moments on the season, people's image of her. But I did actually think Arrietty, given that she was maybe not the most natural lip syncer from what we've seen, I thought she did a really good job. She had some really interesting reveals, like when she pulled those things off and they were like tassels and she was spinning them around. We haven't seen that before. And I thought she actually did a really good job, and she kept up with Kori. And I thought Kori was going to do more than she did. So I personally actually would have said Arrietty should have won, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think because of Arrietty has the track record of being trash at lip syncs, and well, don't Amanda's looking at me like, what the hell? But like, you know, and so Kori probably was like, I can, ease into this. Um, I don't know if I don't. The thing is, if Arrietty won, I don't know what she would have done in the next two lip syncs.
Mm.
I'm like,
But that's
but
not the question, Bombay. The question is who won in this lip sync.
that is true. Who knows what happens tomorrow? That is true, Matt. I would say I agree. If we're just going on who these queens are on this stage and not in their like charisma or their social media presence or how popular they are at this very moment, I would say Arrietty should have won this lip sync.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so dramatic. It was tough for me because I think I love Corey King, but I think I also, and I teetered between the two, but I think I slightly teetered more towards Arrietty won that lip sync. So I guess I have to regurgitate the choice as well. But yeah, I loved Corey's presence though, and I liked how the lip sync grew, like the emotions grew over time. I think I'm still seeing the issue of Arrietty going full force the whole time, and there's no ebbs and flows, like the critiques from the acting challenges. I feel like I saw that in that lip sync as well because she was already making those like faces pretty quickly on, whereas I think Corey King saved that towards the middle, towards the end, and it grew. So I can see in that sense how Corey won, but I think again the overall presence and like moving your body and like really taking up space on stage, I think Arrietty got us there. Next we have Lana versus Crystal Envy. They're the last queens left. So they roll the balls, and Lana is selected to choose the song. So she chooses You Make Me Feel by Sylvester. And what do we think?
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I do agree that maybe Lana won. This one was, I think, very close for me. I don't think it was necessarily the most memorable of all of them, personally, but I think it was perfectly good for such a big song like that. Because this song has been used before on Drag Race. If memory serves me correctly, it was Bob the Drag Queen versus Derek Barry on season 8.
Oh, yeah.
And Bob, and both of them actually, but Bob obviously won the lip sync and went forward to the final 3 or 4, whatever it was. But I think that's the difficulty when you choose songs that have already been on Drag Race, you're going to get comparisons. And I think Bob and Derek did a way better job of this song than these two did. And that's not the Queen's fault because they obviously have no control over the lip sync song. But I was just in my mind, I was like, yeah, it's not quite as good as I remember it being. So it was fine. I think I do agree that Lana won it, but it was close. And also they showed Lana more. So we can only go by what we get shown in the edit, because you can kind of cut out so much stuff if you want to make someone look like better than they were or whatever. So
totally.
Yeah.
I'm so mad Lana Jarrett didn't wear a goldfish costume. When she
was
came out,
wearing wasn't she wearing the same kind of heels though or something? And she was wearing if you look at in the picture, I think she's wearing those heels that have the bit at the bottom. So
I would have died if she came out as a goldfish and revealed into like a sexy bikini or something. Like, just like, Lana, the internet has forgiven you. Roll in it, eat it up, give it back, make it camp, and but yeah, she won the lip sync. I'm also so biased with Lana, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, for me, she won.
Yeah, I think she also won. I'm gonna say 8. I think that again, like Matt said, we're only shown what we're seeing. I mean, we only see what we're shown. And I really loved not only her smooth movements, which I think is what has been made her win so many lip syncs previously, but also we really got to see up close facial expressions from her this time. which I think really helps sell the fantasy of this song. And so I really liked getting to watch it up close like that. And so I agree. Next, we are on to round 2. And this is Lucky Stars versus Suzie Toot. They lip sync to We Found Love by Rihanna.
I can go. Do you mind if I go first, Matt? Thank you.
Please do.
I was expecting Lucky to burst her boobs or burst the headpiece, or they come off and they're actually balls on like a chain or something. Or like bounce on her butt, like I don't know, do something fun. I think she got outdanced again by Suzie. Suzie was just like sexy. Like Suzie was, because when you're dressed like that, Lucky, like you have to lean into camp. You have to like you've got these basketballs on your head, and Lucky was giving us sexy, and I was like, well, a sexy basketball, sure, but then when you have sexy basketball versus sexy woman, which is much easier to like just relate to, you're like, okay, I'm gonna look at this, but that's hilarious because there was a point where she was like rolling on the floor, and I was just like, this is Lucky. This only Lucky would do something like this. Like you are insane. I wish Lucky won this just for her, but I agree with the judges.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think I really thought that something more was going to happen. I thought she can't do like the boob jiggling again. As much as we love a good boob jiggle, we've seen it already, and like, I thought the way I would have done it. I don't know how you would have done it, but I would have had the basketball boobs on like Velcro, and then had some on my bun, like sort of take them off, put them on the butt, and then do a jiggle or like a twerk. That's what I would have done, or burst them. Something that would have been fun. And I think she probably would have won the lip sync because
Matt, you need to be a drag queen. Is what we're getting.
Matt, put back on the drag. We're putting you back in. That wasn't a one-time deal. That's a permanent gig.
Yeah, that's how I would have done it. Like, I think, you can only use the boob thing one time, and she used it twice. And I think RuPaul, you could see as soon as she did it, RuPaul was like, kind of like, eh. So yeah, I do think
RuPaul was like, dislocate your
Suzie.
shoulder now, Lucky. Give yourself a hernia. Like,
Yeah, I do. I have to say, I think Suzie did eat, but I think also Lucky lost it. If you see what I mean, I think Suzie was good, but I also think Lucky lost it as well because she didn't. She should have had something else to do. If you're dressed as a basketball, you need to do something.
Yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, as much as I love Lucky's outfit, there was one gag to it, and in this tournament style, you got to switch it up each time. So it was such a bummer. And Matt, that is so genius. Like I cannot get over that you thought of that. Like I'm so proud of you, and like that's so smart. And maybe Lucky will hear this and take notes and put Velcro on. But that's such a cool idea and totally feasible. But again, I'm still so blown away by Suzie being able to emulate so many different things. I cannot believe that she got eliminated for not being versatile enough. Although to be fair, the challenge last week, it was not the right vibe, but like she can do anything. She's Barbie. Like she can do any career, any girl, any person, any character. It was so good. Like I'm so proud. I'm a tutor. Tutor Nation was down last week, but we're back. I love that fake laugh, Bombae.
Oh my god, what a thumbnail. What a screenshot.
Oh, okay. Next we have a 3-way lip sync with Lydia, Kori, and Lana to 360 by Charlie XCX. How do y'all feel about 3-way lip syncs in general?
Hate them with a vengeance. Like, we know that the stage is huge, sure, but that doesn't mean you just prop every single drag queen on it and be like, now dance, monkey. It's so hard, even for the editors and the people working on Drag Race to like follow, and it's just so much is going on. Like, whenever you see a 3-way or more than 3 people lip sync in a bar, you're just like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna have fun because I don't know what's happening. And like, when the queens do Bang Bang, or they do like Don't Call Me Angel, and it's just 3 queens everyone's wasted. No one's even watching. We're just here for the vibes. That's what it felt like, because you couldn't, especially when it's all edited, because you normally when you see a queen, you stick with her and you're like, okay, you're entranced, or you move on. In this case, the camera decides when you move on, and you're like, wait, I wasn't done yet. What? And so there were so many moments that we missed, possibly, only because they had to show each queen, or like whatever. So I just hate this format of having more than 2 queens on the show, on a lip sync. And because of this, that's why I think all the 3 queens, all the queens in the workroom, they all had different guesses of who was going to win, because they probably saw a different edit than we did.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this was a regurgitate on the format. I don't know if Kori necessarily won this. So, controversial opinion. Let me just turn my head around. I don't know if Kori won this. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, we all have a good 3-way, but I don't think lip sync 3-ways work.
Oh,
I went to the low hanging fruit. I had to, and yeah, I don't think. I mean, personally, I've barely got enough attention span for 2, let alone 3. So I agree with, especially because it's an edited show. On a stage, you can choose who you want to see, but as Bombae said, but on Drag Race, you are forced to move on when the camera moves. I also would just like to say in general, personally, I don't think some of the lip sync song choices, they're good songs, but I'm not sure they're lip sync songs. Either you've got to be like super campy, super emotional, or it's got to be a dancey song. I think they have too many of these, what I would call mid-tempo songs. And like nothing against Charlie XCX. It's like that is a good song, but I'm not sure it's a lip sync song. So I would have really liked to have seen the queens do a more dancey number. I think it would have been more fun. Because do you remember it was season 11, we had like this, was it like the 5 or 6-way lip sync when they all were in the bottom? They had that good the J-Lo song, like the
remix,
which is a good song. That's actually a good lip sync song, so that's fine. But this one, I'm like, I guess maybe Kori won it a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not. I didn't care, and I think that was kind of that was kind of my overall. I just didn't really care.
Yeah. I also was kind of like feeling weird about this one. And I feel like maybe Lana won. I don't know. Maybe it's my drag delusion, but
I mean, in this screenshot, she's winning.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it was definitely, in my mind, it was between Kori and Lana, and I think in my head, I just like Sam said, like Sam and I were so aligned on this. Like it depends on what they're gonna judge on for this song. Like what are they looking for? And I thought Kori was really fun to watch, and I enjoyed her. But then I also liked how Lana was serving here. But it was interesting. I did not like that it was a 3-way with this song, and I did not like that it was this song. I feel like this was the worst possible song you could choose for a 3-way as well. And also, it's so repetitive that it's hard to tell a story with. You know, a lot of the words repeat themselves. The melody is very similar. I feel like the only place that I really remember that stood out to me for this lip sync was when it was like and Kori King was like doing a little dance move with her chest, and I was like, yeah, that's cute. I was not a fan of the 3-way lip sync at all. And finally, we have the grand finale, the final showdown between Kori King and Suzie Toot to APT by Bruno Mars and Rosé. Everyone is silent.
I don't mind who goes first.
Go ahead, Matt.
I thought the song is like, it's a catchy song. I thought it's better than some of the other song choices. At least it was like got a little bit to it. I don't know if it's like a finale song, but it's like it's fine. I guess this isn't the finale, but the finale for these queens. I do think Suzie did win actually, and I thought I can see why they pit these two together, because it's obviously Kori King's been kind of rinsing Suzie for the entire season, so I can see it made a good you know. But I really think Kori should have been dressed as Kori Toot. That would have been even funnier.
Oh, like a wig reveal?
Yeah, or even if she just done like some slight version of the makeup and then took it off and had like a Ronald McDonald wig, or like a really bad version of what Suzie would wear. But I do think Suzie won, and she did it without any reveals. Like, she didn't do death drops and splits and dips and she just did it because she knew the lyrics. She moved. She commanded presence. She gave eye contact. I also feel like maybe there was the storyline of her being robbed of a top 4 placement, so she got this instead. And I think if Kori had got it, it would have felt a bit like anticlimactic in a way. But I do think Suzie won it, so I would say she ate.
That's so many good points. Matt, we should have you all the time. Holy I think it would have been so funny if Kori won this dressed as Suzie too. Could you imagine the gag, which is like, because I know they allow you to change costumes. Like, you can add and remove stuff as long as you still look the same. So if you want to add, like if she wanted to add another wig underneath this, she could have, and then removed it. That would have been so good if she got a red wig and just started tap dancing.
I would have died.
Right? I kind of agree. Suzie was just it came off as effortless, like, in this performance. She was just like, I got this. I think Kori's reveal was, because then she got stuck covering her nipples up, which kind of it affected her ability to lip sync, because you can see at first she was like, these are my nipples. And then she's like, oh, this is American TV or international TV, and I need to cover these puppies up. And then she holds them, and I was like, oh, cool. But Suzie won this for me.
I agree. I think Suzie took the cake for this one. She did it, and she did it flawlessly. But what was interesting was a couple notes about the song. One, I feel like this was safe for the end, not because, like we were saying, not because it's the best one to end the lip sync Lalaparuza, but I think probably because it was the most popular at the time and probably the most expensive to license for the show.
Yeah.
And also, it's a duet. So it was interesting, like, seeing the two of them do the whole song. I think it would have been really fun if it was like they had to roll the dice and see who had to be who. And one of them was Bruno and one of them was Rosé. And they had a solo moment on the stage. That could have been fun to see. Yeah. And then, like, after the second chorus, they started doing the same thing together during, they had the bridge and all that stuff. I think that could have been cool. But, it turned out how it turned out. And it was cute. And I think Kori just didn't have the right plan after revealing. Like, maybe if there were tassels or something or covers underneath when they did the reveal, that could have made things a little bit easier. But I enjoyed that Suzie.
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't get why because she obviously knew that the nipples weren't covered.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was a nip slip or something, a bit like, when Jules was doing the Wizard of Oz thing and she had the nip slip, like that was a bit different. But this one is like she chose to do, and I couldn't, because I was like, is she covering them because she knew she wasn't supposed to show the nipple, but then she did, and they didn't blur it or at least the version I saw wasn't blurred.
They didn't blur it, no.
Because obviously, like, nipples are usually female nipples. At least,
I think technically they're not women's nipples.
No, but on like things like YouTube, even breastplates get censored, because I've had videos censored before when it's like a female nipple. I'm not even going to get into how ridiculous it is that female nipples are not allowed in females, and male nipples are allowed. Anyway, so like, dang with the patriarchy and all of that kind of thing. But I thought it was a weird choice that she did that, given that because she could have just put some stars on them, some little nipple and then it would have been fun. Or she could have like done a bit like Bender La Creme, when she's jumping and making them move. That could have easily happened. But then, I don't know, it's almost like she didn't know she was going to do the reveal, and it was weird.
Yeah. It's also on the note of breastplates and censorship. It's kind of interesting the amount of breastplates like we have seen just out in the open on this season, which has been interesting. And like, I always wonder like how they get away with that. But I guess because like we're saying, like the technicalities of it, it's like not real. And obviously down with the patriarchy with the censorship of it all. But we have seen a lot of it on our TVs lately. So then also that made me think, like, why is she covering them up? We've seen them so many times this season. It's probably fine. So it was interesting. It was weird. But at the end, Suzie Toot is our Lalaparuza winner. What do we think? Do we agree?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think she deserved it from a storyline point of view because she should, like a lot of people think she should have gone to the top 4. But I also think from this episode, she proved that you don't have to be an amazing sort of dancer in the technical sense of being able to do all the tricks and splits. You can just be a good lip syncer, because it is called a lip sync, not a dance for your life. So, and she did that. She knew the lyrics. There's a difference between being an amazing dancer and being an actually good lip syncer. And she actually was really good. So I do agree that she won.
So many valid points. What he said. Just play it again. Play it again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so happy for Suzie. I think she deserved this, and I think, a lot of times we come up with lip sync assassin based on how many times someone's in the bottom and survives, and sometimes I feel like that is the case. Like, we have a Georges who was in the bottom a lot, but every time she was in the bottom, like, all eyes were on Georges. But I think this season, like, we thought it was Lana up until this point, and now I think I feel like a lot of people are going to say that Suzie Toot is the lip sync assassin of the season, because she was able to pull off so much versatility and so many different songs and be a clear winner each time.
Right.
So very cool. I'm so happy for her. But that is the episode. So next week is the finale. Are we excited?
Let's go. Like this just get me there. Get me in an ambulance. Just put me on a stretcher. I'm ready to finish the season of Drag Race. It's nice, but it's just so long.
Yeah.
Did the season start in January?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother.
You've been here for almost half a year, or a fourth of a year, or third of your year.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So
it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing the finale. I wonder what it's going to be like. Yeah, I think it's going to depend on what the format is and whether there's a live audience. Because I think that personally, I really liked when they used to do it in those big theaters and all of that sort of stuff. Because I think that adds to it. Because like Sasha Velour's petal reveal, if there had been no audience, it would not have been anywhere near as effective. It's because you saw all the people losing their minds. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, you wouldn't get people gagging over Aisha O'Hara's butterflies. You see live reactions, you're like, oh my god, because it's still having a finale that's not live, or not with a live audience, feels so produced at this point. Where you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But as a live audience, you get to see them, and you get to see fans, and you get to see your favorites. You see Pork Chop, everybody, and you're like, it feels like the reunion. Like, it feels like the whole family's come back to see the final, So yeah, bring back the live finale, RuPaul.
Yes, fingers crossed we have an audience, but who knows? I don't think they haven't put out a preview, right? Like, that's just the thing you got to show up to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm excited. I think we are all thinking Anya's taking the crown, correct?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I would be absolutely flabbergasted if she does not
a
win.
British thing to say, Matt. You live in Australia.
Flabbergasted.
I'm appalled.
What would Australians say? Oh, I'd be bloody surprised.
Thank you.
I don't know what the Australian equivalent of flabbergasted. I like the word flabbergasted. It's good. But I would be floored if Anya does not win. I would be really, really surprised, because she's clearly got the biggest track. It's almost a little bit, I think, obvious, a little bit like Sasha Colby. Like when she won, it was kind of like, yeah, like we all knew, like she deserved it, but we all knew. And I feel like this
bottom at all? No.
Once, right?
For
she
what?
lip synced one time.
The makeover challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, with her dad. Yes, with her dad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I think that probably, a bit almost like Evie Oddly, because she was in the bottom once, I think, in her season, but she still won. But it kind of gave her that kind of the storyline of being like the vulnerability and stuff. So I think Anya that was almost a benefit in a way, maybe, rather than going into the finale never lip syncing. So I think she'll take it. I can't see anyone else win. I think what's more interesting to me is who's going to be top two, because
I agree.
I think Omni's definitely got it in the bag. I want to know who's going to be top two. I guess Lexi, because she's been a fan favorite and a producer's favorite, I would say, from what we've seen. So I think it'll be her, but I would kind of like it to be like someone like Jules, just because I think it would be really random.
Matt, you're chaotic.
I'm chaotic in British font.
You're beating the robot allegations right now.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us on press conference this week, and a special thank you to Matt for making time out of your day to come see us. It was so much fun getting to chat with you. You've got such good insights and amazing ideas.
Listen,
thank you very much.
We should also do what the Trump administration is doing and get rid of our DEI, hire Nero, and get Matt instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need another white guy on a podcast. That's exactly what
Nero. I think you're a better white person than Nero.
It was so much fun, and I can't wait to see what happens next week for the finale. But thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.